Hi, my name is Valerie. Thank you for joining me today. Welcome to my channel about, I don't know what it's about anymore. It used to be about homeschooling. So if you've clicked on this video and you've looked at my channel and you've seen all my homeschooling videos and you're expecting this to be a homeschooling video, it's not. But it is a video about education, about learning, and maybe your homeschooler can use some of what I'm going to share today because I'm going to talk about CLEP Prep. That's right. Yes, as old as I am, recently took the CLEP exam, and if you're not familiar with what those are, CLEP exams are it's the College Level Examination Program, CLEP. It's a way to earn college credit without taking the college class. Okay, so it's a great program for people, anybody. If you have a high schooler that was really strong in English or math or American government, then he can go down to a local testing center near you and take a CLEP exam. And in 90 minutes, he can CLEP out of hours and hours of coursework that he would have to take in college. So let me tell you about it. What you do is you go on to the College Board website, and I can put that link in the description box below. You sign up, you pay a fee. For me, it was $89, and then you pick your testing center, and they tell you all about that. They walk you through the directions on the website, and then you go to your testing center, and you pick a time that you can take the test. You have to enter in your voucher number from the College Board website onto the testing center's website, and then you'll probably have to pay a fee to the testing center as well. For me, it was $15. So I spent about $105 total to take this test. You pick your date, and you can pick sooner or later. So my test, I had about 6 weeks of preparation from the time I purchased my test to the time I actually took it. You will then print out a ticket. So it's much like the ACT from here on out. You print out a ticket, you have to have identification with you. You take the ticket and identification on the day of the test to the testing center. They take you to a computer and you take the test all on the computer. It's multiple choice. For my test, the American government, there were 5 options for each question, and there were 100 questions. You had to score at least a 50 to pass. I did well above that. I was a little nervous. So now they're all different. You can look on the College Board website to see what minimum score is required for what exam. So they do vary. But for the American government, the minimum score was a 50 to pass. So yes, it was quite an adventure. I'm a nervous test taker. I began, like I said, preparing about 6 weeks in advance. And the first thing I did was looked online for a free testing website where I could take like a sample test for free just to even see. This was before I even registered for the test. I went to find a free website where I could see how much knowledge I had. So I found freeclepprep.com, I believe is the website. I will also link that for you below. But let me tell you, it sort of gave me a false reading. The questions on the actual exam were not like the ones on Free CLEP Prep. Now, they were similar in a lot of ways, but then again, they weren't. And when you're taking a test, and you've spent money and time studying, you want to be as prepared as you possibly can be. So first of all, of course, I recommend that this be an area that you have some knowledge in. You know, you've just graduated, you just took an American government class, for example. In my case, I just taught my son and 2 other kids in our co-op American government using the ABECA material. ABECA is a very thorough American government curriculum. And so I kind of had a lot of that already fresh on my mind from teaching my son. But I was still, nervous, like I said. So I did go online. I thought free CLEP Prep would be great. And I paid $15 to get access to 2 more tests. And it also gave me access to this printout here. It's several pages long. I don't know if you can see how many pages. I printed it out. It also came with an MP3 that I could listen to all of this being read to me if I was an audio learner, which I thought was interesting, which I did not use because I am not an audio learner. But anyway, I used this for about 4 weeks before I thought, I wonder if this is really a good representation of the test. Maybe I should look into it. So I did. I found REA, which is Research and Education Association. And they had a website as well. And so I thought, you know what? I'm going to be really prepared for this exam. So I had about 10 days till my test date. So I looked on Amazon.com and I saw this book, CLEP, American government. Earn college credit with CLEP. And you can see it's pretty lengthy, a lot lengthier than this thing. So I got a little nervous. I thought, oh great, you've blown it, Valerie. What have you done? So this book cost me $36. It came with a diagnostic test that you take just to see what areas you need to study. And then it came with 2 other practice tests. Now, those practice tests are in the back of the book, okay? And then they're also online. And online, they grade them for you immediately, just like the real CLEP experience, and you can find your results. If you use this, obviously you have to self-grade it, and so it takes longer. All of the answers have explanations. So if you pick A and the answer's B, it'll explain to you why A is the answer and why B is not the answer, which I thought was very helpful in studying, because if I was confused on something, it would explain it to me further. So first you read all of this information, all these chapters, and it's divided up: federal courts and civil liberties, federal bureaucracy and the media, the presidency, and Congress, etc. So I read all of that, and then I took the 2 practice tests, and I was able to pass them pretty comfortably. But again, I'm a nervous test taker. Now, I will say that I did get a lot of valuable information from this book, this little printout thing. First of all, it has a listing of all the amendments, and what I did was, as I went beside each one, and I kind of summarized what they were. So like number 8, no cruel and unusual punishment, but I knew what I meant when I wrote no cruel and unusual. The next one, non-enumerated rights exist, and states and persons have rights even if they're not listed in the Constitution. At least that's what I meant when I wrote that. So I summarized them all in my own words, and I studied them. And then, my friends, I found this wonderful app called Chegg Prep. Now, Chegg is a textbook company, but they have an app that's free. I believe you have to pay for a subscription if you want some more features to this app. I don't know. I haven't paid for it. But I was able to find on the Chegg Prep app, as you can see there, flashcards. And I didn't have to make them. Someone else made these flashcards on the amendments. And so you can see Amendment 1, the Bill of Rights, 5 freedoms: press, speech, religion, petition, assembly. And it goes through all of them. And then if you can hit flip all cards. So, Amendment 26, 18-year-olds have the right to vote. I got it. So, once you get it, you hit got it, and it puts a little blue line around it. And then the next one, the 12th Amendment, I think that's the one that tells us how to elect the president and the vice president. Yes, presidential election procedures, and got it again. And then if there were any of them, presidential term limits right there. Yes, got it. So it's a lot of fun. I enjoyed this. I wish the actual CLEP had a lot more questions about the amendments because I spent a lot of time learning them. But there were only about 4 questions out of 100 that even remotely covered the amendments. But still, I knew those. I'm sure I got those right. So I recommend the Chegg Prep app for not just CLEP, but whatever you're studying. And you can make your own. You don't even have to have an account. You can make your own flashcards. And what happens is at the end, whichever ones you don't get, I just ended it early, it tells that, 22 were not scored. I got 6 of them, and then 0 were not quite. But if I had hit not quite, so if you don't get it, you put not quite, and it keeps it in a separate stack. And then it gives you the option to just flip that stack that you didn't get. So you can do this on all kinds of things. I mean, this really is a homeschooler's dream. A college student, anybody that's wanting to study something, I really recommend the Chegg Prep app. So I did benefit from that. The other thing I benefited out of this little handout thing was there are several definitions. So any of them that I had forgotten, for example, writ of certiorari, I think I'm saying that right, certiorari. Anyway, if I was unsure of some things, judicial conservatism, that's a mouthful. The general accounting offices, I don't think I'd even ever heard of those. And there were lots of questions about polling. There were questions about Congress, some of the questions, the answers were very similar. So it was not an easy exam by any stretch of the imagination, but I felt like I was well prepared. The other thing that's in this does have a description of the cabinet offices, and then the big deal was this right here. This is a list of several important cases. For Lochner versus New York, Korematsu versus the United States, Brown v. Board of Education, that's an important one, ended segregation in schools, and which led the way to ending segregation in every other area. So, the landmark cases, I really didn't know a lot of them. So I made flashcards before I knew about this app. I made regular old-fashioned index card flashcards. So with marker on one side, I wrote the name of the case, Lochner v. New York, and then on the back in pencil, so it wouldn't bleed through, obviously, I wrote what it was, and I took them with me everywhere. If I was in the doctor's office with the kids waiting, I would study them. If I was waiting for church to start, I would look through them then. Any chance I had, I would glance through them, because while I'm studying for this CLEP exam, I'm also taking a history class and an English composition class in college, so I was pretty busy. But you know what? It worked. I mean, you are asked about several of the landmark cases on the CLEP, and I had no problem answering the question because I was prepared. Now, did it ask me all 30 or whatever it was that I actually learned? No, it probably asked 5. But because I knew all 30, I knew the 5, so it all paid off. But if you are going to invest in some study materials, go to the College Board website, the CLEP website, that's their main website. When you sign up, I believe there's some links there. Since I didn't go there first, like a normal person would have, I didn't find that they had sponsored materials that they sell, which are probably very good. But I found this book to be very thorough, very good. The testing was very similar to what I saw in the actual test. Now, another thing that was a problem, the free CLEP Prep website did not have all the types of questions. For example, when you take the CLEP, they show you images like this, okay? Graphs, charts, and they ask you questions. So you have to know how to read a graph and how to figure out which of the 5 questions apply to the graph. The free CLEP Prep website didn't have any graphs or any pictures or where they ask questions or anything like that. So I was so thankful that I had practiced and was prepared for those types of questions. And I wouldn't have been if I hadn't gotten this book. Now, is this a complete endorsement of this book? No. Yes and no. Multiple choice, you get to pick. No, I'm kidding. This book was very helpful, and I do recommend it. However, I think there are others just as good that are similar to this one, even if it's not this exact book. So yes, get you a book like this. Get you a book. It has a code on the inside that you go to their website to get access to the tests, the practice tests. And so yes, it was an amazing experience. Again, would I do this for all my courses? Probably not, because, well, I might do it for a couple more. I don't know yet. I'll let you know. But it has to be something you're very good at, very familiar with, comfortable with. Even if you don't know all about it, you feel like you know a lot about it. You have a good handle on it. I felt like I really knew our government really well. I loved my American government class in high school so much. And yes, that was back in the dark ages. But that's how much I love it. You can tell because I remember a lot of it, even though it was 100 years ago. That's how thorough it was and how much fun it was. And then teaching it with my children, going over government with them. We visited Washington, D.C. So, I mean, I feel like I know government, in my soul. Now, did I need to knock some dust off some of the information? Yes. Because how often do we discuss the Supreme Court case that ruled that prayer should be taken out of schools? We don't really talk about that every day, at least not by name. So yeah, I was glad that I studied. I was glad that I brushed up and got some of those facts nailed down. I hope this information will be helpful to you and your family. Obviously, it's not a homeschooling video, or is it? Your kids could definitely use this information if they are homeschooling, because CLEP credit will save them hundreds of dollars. For me personally, it saved me about $600 in the credit hours that I would have had to take to pass the basic American federal government class that my university requires all students take. That's right, all students. So there are a lot of courses like that, general education courses. And if your kids are really great at college algebra, or if they're good at, American literature, that was their thing, then absolutely take the CLEP test, get it out of the way, get the credits, but do a little preparation first. Do some CLEP prep. Thank you for watching, and I hope you will subscribe, like, share, say hello. I'd love to hear from you, and have a great day.